well, because they couldn't, because they didn't know till after surgery. We didn't know during the surgery what it would be. So I was thinking about that day. We had a 12-hour, not we, I guess I think I'm on the table with him. He had a 12-hour surgery. We knew the anesthesiologist, and he very sweetly let us see him kind of between the operating rooms when they had the catheter in. And I remember when they rolled him away for brain surgery, I said, have fun. Like, I was like, is he going to school, like a camp? And I remember he tried to turn his head with all that halo stuff. And he said, have fun. And I was like, and then he left and I'm like, God, what if that's the last thing I say to my son? I guess it could be worse. I love you might have been better. But so, you know, we were just, so at the end of the surgery, we were taken over the whole waiting room. I mean, you know, he's a college kid. All of his best friends came. They played backgammon. They played cards. My friends brought food. My brother and sister were there. We had a great support system, and he had a great support system. And I remember at the end of the day, the doors opened, and there was Dr. Churich and our friend, Dr. Vinder, and they both went. And I just remember, oh my God, it was the most amazing moment. And everybody started clapping. You know, I tried to kiss Dr. Churich's hands, and he was like, oh God, you gotta be kidding me. You're not gonna kiss my hands, not my hands. So we didn't know, you know, we had to wait. So they didn't know. They said, we got it all out. We're very glad. We think he'll have no deficit, but he might have to sleep. We might have to keep him sedated all night because he's been so sedated. But then he woke up and we got to see him. And we walked in the room, and the first thing, we still didn't know the pathology. And we walked in the room, and the first thing, Stanton, he opened his eyes and he said, who went first in the draft, Dad? We're like, yes, he's back. And then they went around the room and asked Stanton who everybody was. And he said, well, that's my dad. That's my sister. That's my sister. And they got to me, and he said, that's a nurse. And of course, my heart started beating out of my chest. And doctor said, no, you've been asking for her. Who is that? And he goes, a nurse. And then he said, he winked and he goes, that's my mom. I'm like, oh my God, he got his sense of humor back too. This is awesome. It's all of Stanton. So then I think it was that we didn't get the pathology immediately. I'm trying to think. It was probably the next morning. I stayed in ICU with him. And still, see, at that point, I refused to Google different types of tumors. So I didn't know, besides benign, I didn't know the grades of the other ones. So it was a grade 2 astro. Dr. Churich and Dr. Pelogos were both still hopeful because of the wide margins, even though they had these little star-like cells they send out to do their duty around the brain. They felt very hopeful that they didn't even radiate. They thought the resection was enough. They got it off. He didn't go on Temodor. He just went on with his life for that period of time.